Trump has levied a minimum 10% tariff on every trading partner. He has proposed to impose 20% tariffs on European Union, 26% tariffs on India, and similarly higher tariffs on Vietnam, Cambodia, Japan, and almost every major economy that has a trade relationship with the US. Trump labeled April 2nd as Liberation Day for United States as he unveiled this plan of a minimum 10% tariff with extremely high tariffs on the trading partners of US. But as of now, US has paused these tariffs for 90 days. After the stock markets tanked and the Wall Street and American tech companies exerted pressure on the US administration, eventually US has paused these tariffs on all the countries except for China. In fact, all the countries which were affected, they reached out to the US as well, opening up for dialogue and negotiations and considering a trade deal with the US. So given these developments, the US has paused these tariffs for now, but the minimum 10% tariff has already become applicable. And China has been singled out because clearly China is the primary target of this trade war that has been launched by President Trump. So China currently faces 145% tariffs, and China of course has retaliated, as we discussed in recent sessions, with almost matching tariffs against American imports into China. Now look at the graph over here. As I was mentioning, historically US has been a champion of free trade, globalization. It has historically levied very low tariffs on imports. On an average, just around 2 to 3% tariff was levied by the US. Now, if you compare that with, let's say, India, China, and other major economies, you will see the stark difference. From 1990s to early 2000, all the way up till 2024. American tariffs have historically remained low, in the lower single digits, when other countries would levy higher tariffs mainly to protect their domestic industry. So what explains this U-turn by the US? Why do you think Donald Trump is following such a disruptive policy? Just look at the chart that was unveiled by Donald Trump. So the writer of the article compares this policy of Donald Trump to the equivalent of carpet bombing the global economy. That is the kind of disruption, the destructive impact of these tariffs. As many experts have opined, such tariff wars will be met with counter retaliatory tariffs.
टैरिफ तो पता नहीं लगा के बहुत बड़ा गड़बड़ किया है भाई, पता है ट्रम्प भी ना यार पूरा छोड़े बड़ा बात बोलना ठीक है.
So such counter tariffs, reciprocal tariffs as they are called, would end up destroying the global economy. It would
globally impact पड़ेगा उसका इंडिया तक.
Markets for imports.
सही बात है.
Disrupt global supply chains. It could lead to
अरे
shortage
चाचा
of
रुकने को तैयार ही नहीं हो रहे भाई, क्या
inflation, price rise of essential components and goods. It could have a unimaginable domino effect which can't be controlled by